Okay, so we got the first box up on the bench. Let's go ahead and get it open. Nice, tight packaging. First thing that we get is the manual. Then looks like some general use of connecting the clipper pad onto the network. We have the main body to the filament roller and the extruder assembly. This cowl that they have on it just seems to be a lot of extra plastic, and seems to be one of the main complaints about the extrusion system. I've actually followed some other SV07 owners' leads, and I've printed out a new bracket to mount the LEDs to, because this is really the only thing that the cowl does. Of course, it's got the test filament in it. I did buy one of these before, and the previous one actually had a spool. The miniature spool. This does look to be a different shade of white than the original. We'll see what the other box has to say. It looks like we've got the accelerometer for the input shaping and the wheel that goes on the outside of that cowl, and all the different parts for assembly. We've also got these standoffs, because the bed of the SV07 comes stock with springs. We're also going to be hard mounting that. I do prefer the hard mount. It makes everything easier to come off of. I've got some clipper mods that I'm wanting to look at so that we can have it determine what its Z offset is, depending on what temperature the machine is running at. I'm sorry, I just started going through this. So this is the touchpad mount, and this is the actual has bearings in it for the filament holder. Some people say these are too loose. My machine that I've already got assembled, my first machine, it really isn't too loose. I actually really like how it's put together. Okay, so down in here we have the touchpad. This touchpad is actually produced by MakerBase, and it uses the MakerBase default root username and password. You guys can look that up. It's not something I'm going to be going over right now. Let's see, we've got the auxiliary fan assembly. This is a major upgrade over the SV06. Some of my overhangs on the SV06 tend to look pretty sloppy. SV07 really doesn't seem to have that issue. Got the power cord, you got power cord, and the gantry assembly. Let's go ahead and pull this out of here. Okay. The SV07 over the SV06 also has dual drivers for their Z-axis motors. This makes the Z-axis calibration a lot easier, and you can also set up macros so that it can double check every single time it makes a print. But you can do that with the SV06, but ramming its head up at the top of the gantry arms, it's really... Oh, this is interesting. So that's another thing, is my PEI plate on the other SV07 already had this sticker installed. This is separate on this unit. Looks like after I put that sticker on there, I might have to cut those notches out. The notches are already cut out on the PEI build sheet. And here's the bottom unit. Also, if you guys get any SV07s, I didn't realize this the first time, and it caused me some issues. Underneath the bed assembly are these two dense foam blocks, and they need to come out before you start trying to home or anything like that. It was an oversight on my part, but hey, live and learn. I don't have to make that mistake this time. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of here. And let's do some gymnastics while we move this box. And there's the base. In order to put the gantry and everything over onto it, we're going to have to turn it over. But I think before we do that, we're going to go ahead and hard mount the bed before we go any further, because right now it's literally just right here and easily accessible. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to need a screwdriver. It'll be easier to get into there. Looks like I've got a couple of prints that just came off. If you don't mind for just a second, I'm going to go ahead and take those off. This just came off the SV07. It's a new rose turtle. And it just comes off. I love this PEI build sheet. It seems to work much better than the texture that's on that SV06. SV06 sometimes can have some build plate adhesion issues, but so far the SV07 I haven't had to use any glue or anything like that. But this is what I was talking about. This part here, that sticker was pre-assembled, which is different here. So that's interesting. This is what I've got going on from the SV06. So this right here are just pieces that go into my multi-board system, and I'll kind of show y'all guys later on what I'm doing with the multi-board. I've got the multi-boom arm system started to print out. I've got one set up on my original SV07. And it's doing really good. I'm able to just pretty much attach a caramel boom arm into any place where I have my multi-board set up. So I'm planning on putting multi-boards all over the lab here. But again, that's a future video. Alright, so let's continue on here. We decided that we're going to go ahead and hard mount. I do have my daughter Amber here with me. She's sitting at the edge of the shed if she wants to say hi.
So Dad's building the SV07, as you can see. I'm his daughter. My name's Amber. My game and once I'm 13, I'll be able to make my own channel. But that's gonna be in the future. So you guys gotta get ready. Amazing, right? So
we're taking the bed screws off right now, so.
Yeah. And also, the SV07 is our fast. Dad, not the spring, not the spring.
It's alright.
Here you go, Dad.
Thank you.
Okay, anyway.
So, also, while I'm down here looking at the bed, there's another thing that I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and check the height from the top of the base to the bed mounting point. On my previous SV07, it's kind of canted a little bit. The automatic Z leveling has made the X-axis assembly actually canted like that too. It doesn't seem to be causing any problems, and it just kind of seems to be a problem in the mount. Possibly how the V-rollers are mounted together. So I've only had it for about a week now, so now that I've got the other two SV07s, I might go ahead and take the bed apart and try to see if I can figure out what's going on there. So right about an inch.
I'm gonna do a face review.
Okay, so yeah, we actually have the same problem here. The right side of the V rollers are up higher than the left side. So let's go ahead and open up the tool tray, which this is how it comes packed.
Yes. It has foam.
We have a wrench.
Yeah.
It looks like 8 and 10 millimeters. Like the casting on this. I don't know if y'all guys can see this, but the casting on this is horrible. But considering what previous printers ship with, it's just basically stamped out wrench.
Here, let's show them side by side.
It's pretty nice. That's a good idea, side by side. So that's.
Which one looks better, guys? Like, tell us in the comments.
Yeah, so 2 different wrenches there. They also have a different kind of spatula here too.
Yes.
So this is the spatula that the SV07 came with, and this came with my SV04.
Which one's better?
I mean, this one is definitely stiffer. This one's thinner and seems to be able to get under parts a little bit better, but this one looks a lot cooler, that's for sure.
Yeah, other than this stupid thingy.
Just tell us what you think.
In the comments. Or on a video.
We also have a little Phillips and a little flathead, so we already know that's not big enough to be able to hard mount the bed on the next SV07. So since we're trying with just the tools that it comes with to assemble on the next video, I think we'll leave the spring bed on it, and then that way we have a control and we can test if that's any better, especially with the problems with the adjustment on the bed here.
Yes, because one of them sides are higher than the other, which is a bad thing. But it doesn't cause any problems.
We also have, like, it's a bit thicker than your traditional, like, the acupuncture needle things that they normally send with.
Yes.
The acupuncture needles that I've gotten in the past, we've been able to actually put through the hot end from the bottom going up to be able to start to clear some clogs. The one that they have will only go from the top down to help push it through the extruder already. So if you have any debris down there or anything, really this is just going to push it further into the nozzle instead of being able to bring it back up. But really, if you have that problem, you should be trying a cold pull anyway. We've got the Allen wrenches. This is a pretty cute little set. Normally the Allen wrenches that I've gotten in previous are just loose or in a bag. It's nice that they've got the stuff together. This is what I'm really excited about. This tool right here is for, it's a 6mm wrench that is designed to be able to pull the nozzles off the machine. This is something that I haven't gotten with any of my previous printers. The closest I could do is use a wrench, but this is absolutely amazing. I've started using it on all my printers and it's really sped up my repair process.
And these are pliers, I think?
These are the flush cutters. So these flush cutters are really cute. They're really nubby. I do like that they have a lock on them.
Yeah. So kids won't bite themselves.
The previous pliers that I've gotten were these. Your standard, like, every 3D printer comes with one of these, but this is really cute.
Which one's better? Say it in the comments.
They both seem to have about the same distance or same cutting area on the front, but again, I do like the lock on this one. It makes me feel better. It's small enough to get into the drawer, which I think is what they were aiming at, but you have an advantage, a length advantage, being able to use these so you can get into tighter spots. So I still find that these are overall more useful. I would like to see maybe a hybrid of some of these. It's pretty cool.
And then we got this.
That's a extra high flow nozzle.
It's a high flowing nozzle.
Yeah, these.
It makes the nozzle more high flowing.
Yeah, these are the volcano type nozzles. They're a little bit longer, so you can't use the same nozzle from, like, say, the SV07.
Carol, I mean UPS Carol. Or what?
USB drive. It's a thumb drive.
I'm a thumb drive.
So it does come with its own thumb drive, a NetApp thumb drive, which I think is the same brand that the other SV07 came with. My SV06 had one that has identical casing, but if memory serves, I'm pretty sure it had a different brand name, and I'm not sure what I did with that. It also came with a pair of tweezers, a pair of very fine tweezers. So, the first thing I'm going to do, get rid of all that foam.
Yeah.
Now I can put more stuff in it. I'm going to go ahead and put all of these tools back in. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and... I'm really not sure what the proper method to fix this would be. Because the V-rollers seem to be at the right tension. Let's try. Did that make any difference whatsoever? Hey, it did.
Are they the same? This one's still up.
Okay. Let's go.
So our SV07, our most recently built one, which its name is Lucky, by the way. You all guys didn't know. So, like, to this video end, you can like and subscribe if you want. You don't have to, but you can if you want to.
Like and subscribe would really help. We got a brand new channel.
Yep.
happy with that. Okay, so I mean maybe that's a problem that we solved. All right. So now let's go ahead and start referring to the manual. Actually, I don't think we need to refer to the manual right yet until we get this bed put back together. So we need these spacers. So we're looking for the M4x30s and the M4 lock nuts. So we've got the M4 lock nuts right here. And then we're going to look at the M4x30s. Right here, I believe. And that's another thing. I don't know if this wrench will work by the M4 lock nuts either, so we might have to make another adjustment on that. So we definitely can't hard mount the bed with the tools that are provided. I do like that they gave us the option and they put the tools in there. It does seem kind of like an afterthought, an extremes that it's not installed by default, like it is on the SV06. It definitely gives you more consistency between prints, mostly I think because of the heat has more of an effect on the springs than they do the overall build plate. That is the difference between the stock screws and the screws that they give you for the bed mount. One's Phillips and the other is 2.5 millimeter Allen. So this is where we're going to have to provide some of our own tools. Again, I suppose I could have just used the previous hardware, just put the shunts on it and then use the wheel. Maybe we can try that next time, but we'd still need a Phillips. But I think the hard mount looks a whole lot better without the thumb adjustment screws. What do you think, Cameron? Do you think it looks better without the thumb adjustment screws, or do you think it would look better with it? Because what we're doing is we're putting the hard mounts in here and we're using the other kit. But I removed the thumb mount screws on it. I'm saying we could probably, yeah. See, I think it looks better without it. It looks cleaner. Actually save a little bit of weight too, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think it looks better and cleaner without it.
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, just give us our opinion, or your opinion.
Yeah.
Alright. Now to the back corner. And obstruct your view a little bit again. Sorry guys, eventually we'll have some better camera setups and arrangements.
Yeah.
I did speak earlier about the multi-boom system for the multi-board. I plan on having something like that set up just about everywhere, and then that way we can get much more camera angles covered by this, but I'm just kind of limited right now.
And we're in a little shed. So, yeah. But this is our shed right now, so, yeah.
Yeah, gonna be working up towards a bigger space.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the bed there. I don't seem to have any shake. I've got movement back and forth.
That's amazing.
So now it's time to install the gantry, which is
Now, where is it?
kind of difficult to do. So we're going to need the M5 times 45 bags.
Daddy. Is this the gantry?
Yeah,
Okay. So the top part is gantry.
this whole assembly right here is the gantry.
Well, just said install the gantry.
Huh?
You said install the gantry.
I'm installing it right now, so it's time to install the gantry. Okay, so washer. Should have prepped this before I propped the machine up on its side.
Yeah.
Would have made everything a lot easier, but I
Yeah.
like to do things the hard way.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the motors go towards the back. I'm gonna try to line all of this up, not in a way where we can just try to get everything finger tight. Honestly, I think they should have went back to the side bolt system like the SV06 was using.
But this SV07 is very fast. Faster than our SV06.
We've got some upgrades going on our SV06.
Yeah.
We do have a clipper pad installed in our SV06 right now. Really closely resembles the SV07. The other Allen wrenches. Did I come back in the door?
Nope, they're on the ground.
They're on the floor. Of course they are.
Oh, don't forget about this thing.
Okay. Sorry guys, this is a little bit cumbersome.
This is a little. Yeah, what?
It's really difficult to try to get everything from the bottom of this machine because the gantry has adjustment knobs and like the X-axis motor on the other side. Here we go. Finally, finally got that to thread. Man, that was really difficult to do. Well, at least I think more difficult than it should have been. I really didn't have that problems on the other one, so I don't know if this was like a different production run or different quality control. Everything seems to be nice and tight. I'm not actually resting on the cables there. I am resting on the X belt tensioner. Not really ideal to be able to have to put on the gantry or put the pressure on the gantry to be able to install the bed. Okay, now back to instructions. It's asking us to go ahead and install the screen mount. I do have an extra part here that I've printed out, and to be ready for this, it's just a little block that I found on Thingiverse, and it will attach right here to the screen, so that we can put like a standard webcam on the side of it so that we can remote monitor our system. Okay, now it's also telling us that we need the MX by 10 screws. So let's go ahead and look through here and find our MX by 10s. There's MX by 20s. Oh, M4X by 10s. Right here. We've got the 3 pieces. So okay, so we're going to go ahead and mount this one first. Previous experience, just mount it loosely until you get all the screws in and have it fit where you want it to fit. So I think, yeah, the next one that y'all guys name down in the comments, we're going to leave it bone stock. And later on, we'll put them head-to-head in performance and use it as a control and run different mods on the different SV07s, like the different air duct mods for the auxiliary fan. Maybe a different air duct mod for the parts cooling fan, the stock parts cooling fan. It'd be nice to kind of see if some of these prints that I've printed out and modded my other machines with are good in the long run, if it's just kind of fluke. Alright. So, now we install the screen. We've got the USB power. Yeah, that's just a pressure fit, so if you put pressure from the bottom, it's going to pop up. We've got that going on now. It wants us to go ahead and install the extruder system. I have another little mod here that I'm going to put on. I'm going to replace this cowl with this. Again, just another thing that I found. I believe I got that off of Thingiverse. Remove that wire and get the 2 screws out. So when the cowl comes straight off, the next thing that we have are these little white, like, pressure fit thingies. So we're just going to pull those straight out. It's a little bit harder to get through there, and it looks like it's because there might be a little bit of elephant's foot. And it's just on one side. So more than likely that means that my Z off, or my Z leveling is way off on the SV06. So I'm just taking a little torque screwdriver, using the abrasive edges to go through there, and yep, fits right in now. So this is what we have going on here. Whoop. We're just going to go ahead and put these back in. So as these go through, it pushes the white pieces apart and gives it a good pressure fit. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing we did with that first one. We're going to pull everything back in. Let's get one of these in one place so I don't lose them, because I'm bad about that. Oh, see? Here we go again. It's like I'm bound and determined to lose these things no matter what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and run this Torx in from the bottom, because it'll kind of, the bottom and the top, because it'll kind of countersink the holes, make it a little bit easier to go in, and then give it a little bit more room on the top of it for those compressions to be able to flare out. And it kind of gives it a V in the middle so that it kind of gets a little bit more torque going on there. So it doesn't just fall through. Alright, let's try that again. Okay. Here's the first. Okay. So now that's put together. And back to the instruction set. Check. It all seems to be good and tight. So I'm just making sure that my Y and X belts are nice and tight right now. Of course, we've got lead screws for the Z-axis.
Yeah.
Oh, it wants us to bolt on the auxiliary fan. And we're going to be using the M5x20s. Using this big old piece here. Big old round. Alright, so this just kind of fits on the back like this.
What does that thing do?
This is the auxiliary cooling fan. So since we're printing fast,
Is this gonna
we need
just
to cool.
put more weight on it?
Well, it's not on the extruder for the X-axis, it only puts weight on the z-axis.
Oh God.
And since we only move z after every layer, weight doesn't matter near as much on the z-axis as it does on the x or the y. That's a really good question. So on SV08, which is a core XY, the only thing that the bed does is Z. So X and Y are all done on the gantry. So it's done as a big cube instead of like this.
Yes. Are y'all guys excited for the SV08 to come out?
It
Tell
came
us.
out yesterday. It started coming through yesterday, and it's got a really good price to it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to be part of the early bird, and I wasn't one of the winners of the Cellwall contests. And well, this is literally my first YouTube channel, so
And same with me, but
we didn't get any reviews or units or anything like that, which would have been really, really cool.
Yeah.
But I understand I'm not established.
So this isn't the finished project yet, guys. You still have to put in the filament spool thingy. The filament holder. Yeah. A little bit odd.
So that's like that.
So
Clicked on. Let's go ahead and put the filament holder back in place.
yes.
Just like this. Okay. Then oh yeah, we wired everything up. So let's get those little bitty clipper guys back out. I've got a few of these cables. These cables are for the input shaping. Got that clip in there. I will be making the cable spine. Found an adapter kit for the SV06 cable spine. And I really like it. It looks cool and it seems to help. And I've already wore out the cable of the SV06. I took it off. I didn't have it mounted correctly. I'm just plugging up all the motors right now, making sure that everything can talk, communicate. This little bit comes up. I would like to see the toolkit, be able to accommodate some of the things that they give you for the alternate installations, like the bed pieces. Obviously, you're going to need a Phillips and another wrench to be able to get those in. Those are the M3 nuts. Okay, so that's everything there.
That picture looks complete.
Yeah,
It's not complete yet.
it is pretty much complete.
Yes. Now we just gotta connect it to our Wi-Fi and stuff how we get the magnetic heat gun.
So we're going to put that in place. It definitely has more grab this way without that other PEI shoe. I'll be putting that other. I don't know. Maybe I'll save it. Definitely need a better camera setup. That's in the works. It's part of what we're gonna do here. Once the SV07s are going, SV06 is pretty much just going to be working on upgrades for the shop. SV06 for some reason has some Y layer shift every now and then, I think maybe because of the speed it's trying to move. I've checked the V-rollers, I've checked the belt. I don't know if it's a glitch in the software because I can run it again the second time and it seems to work fine. But I'm not sure. So this isn't going to be the final wiring of this machine, but I'm going to go ahead and just plug it in temporarily, just right underneath here. Get a power strip. Right here, ready to go. Oh, one more thing that I've got to do real quick. If you guys are in the United States, make sure to do this by default. Their power supply is set to 220 volts and you need to move it over to 110. This is not an auto switching power supply. Sorry, they've got it marked as 115. But it is not auto switching, so before you plug in and do all of that, make sure that you switch it over. Alright, we're going to plug it in, we're going to pull pill, and power on for the first time for this SV07. Okay, I really don't want to use this. That's not being on a spool or anything like that. I'm not sure how to just use an open piece of filament like that without causing problems. So let's get some of this rainbow filament. So this rainbow filament is from Strong Hero 3D. I got it off of Amazon. It's a really good price. It tends to come in between 1 and 2 day shipping here where I'm from. I've had it clog up on me a couple of times. I'm not exactly sure what caused that. Whether it was the filament. I've had 2 different spools cause that after not having any problems with the previous 2. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and go through the setup here. The LED came on, so unfortunately out of the box, it doesn't let us do Central Time. It gives us Toronto or New York. Let's go ahead and connect to I'm going to go ahead and cover this because you guys don't need to know my Wi-Fi password. Save. Connected. Close. So we're good to go there. So now we'll go next. You follow the calibrate operation C calibration setting offset, operate bed level to adjust the flatness of the bed, operate bed mesh automatic leveling. So it's just trying to tell us what we need to go through to properly set it up, but I've done this before. Paper a little bit. Keep bumping this. Alright, so first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and bring it up to temperature and heat soak it. I'm going to bring it a little bit warmer than what we normally do, so I'm going to go like, or they do by stock, I'm going to go like 220 by 70 for the time being, so 220 on the extruder, 70 on the nozzle, or the bed. And let's go ahead and get all of that warmed up and heat soaked because we want this bed to be about the same temperature as what we're going to be printing in, and I do like to print a little bit warmer than most people. 220 by 70 is about my sweet spot for when I'm printing fast. It seems to be working out really well on the rainbow like the silk filaments. It kind of gives it a good sheen. That could be my bias, and I could just be stuck at a hotter temperature than most, but it seems to be working out pretty well for me. Okay, and then we're going to machine leveling Z-tilt. And with this machine again, it'll take a measurement of the center and either side, and then it'll change the Z lead screws so that the gantry itself matches the level of the bed. And that's one of the things I was looking at earlier. Was the actual bed being square or trim with the rest of the machine. still kind of looks like it's had to do the same thing that the other one does. That like maybe one side of that Z-axis is a little higher than the other. But again, it should be squaring itself up with the bed. Maybe that's an advantage that the screws have over the spacers, and maybe that's the reason why they're not doing it from stock. And just go from there though, because everything seems to be looking good now. It's home all again. We're fully at temperature now, so let's go ahead and do the Z offset. So Z calibrate. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring this down. -2, -3, -4 is definitely too much. Looks like -3.1 this time is sweet spot. So we'll apply, that'll reboot the machine. Machine is back up. Let's go ahead and bring it back up to temperature to 20 by 70. So this bed mesh routine that we're going to be going in here pretty soon. There's going to be an upgrade that I'm going to be putting in on this that will allow it to automatically create a bed mesh just for the locations that you're going to be printing on. So it'll take its measurements and it won't take the full bed mesh measurements like what we're doing right now. And that'll kind of give us a sweet spot to print stability and time, because if you do a full bed mesh every time you want to print, that's just going to take a whole lot of time. So if I can take something down like from this 25-point calibration maybe to something like a 5-point calibration, if you know you're printing right in the center, I think it'll definitely give us an advantage. Okay, I think we're maybe... Let's go ahead and save that. It's going to reboot again. Let's go back to 220 by 70. Okay, so we're up to temperature and everything now, so let's go ahead and move up just a little bit. Extrude low. Okay, so that's taking the filament nicely. Yeah, getting some more of that black, so we're going to have to purge through until we start getting our color. Seems to be quite a bit of black in there. There we go. That's one more just so that we can get a good clean